God never intended for the church to be hid in a corner. That's not what God called us to do. We're supposed to occupy until He comes, but we do that standing. If you pervert the hearts and the minds of kids in this district, you will reap it. I'm disgusted. What a shame you all are.
You can go to the doctor and get cut up. You can go down to the dress shop and get made up. You can go down there and get drugged up. But at the end of the day, you were just a drugged up, dressed up, made up, cut up man or woman. You ain't changed what God put in you, that DNA.
Lieutenant Governor Mark Keith Robinson, thank you so much for coming and sitting down with me to have a conversation.
Yes, sir. It's always good to be here with you.
We witnessed in this state what took place when you addressed the unwholesome and pornographic books that someone continues to allow to be placed upon the bookshelves of our libraries in this state. Why aren't more politicians doing what you're doing if they truly want to protect children?
Well, it's simple. They're afraid. They are afraid that they may lose their seat. They are afraid they may lose supporters. They're afraid of the fight that they'll have to take on, not just with those who want to support those books, but they're afraid of the fight that they'll have to take on with the news media. They're fearful. They're fearful of reprisal. Those folks who champion these things that we're against, they've made it plain that if you stand up against them, we will destroy you.
Is it simply the local school board members, or is it someone in office or in power within the district that has the right to select what book goes on the bookshelf?
Well, I think what we should really do is we should lean on the law. And let me tell you what I mean by that. If, as a private citizen, if I was trying to distribute Playboy magazines to minors, I'd be placed in jail. If I was disseminating it in any other way, whether it be on the phone or computer, you go to jail. What's different about disseminating it in a school library? We need to lean on the law, and school systems need to realize that. And unfortunately, I believe some school systems and people who run them, they need to be made example of by the law. But the bigger question is this: why is our news media not asked Josh Stein, Roy Cooper, and others, do you really believe that our children should be looking at pornography in schools? The same pornography that I showed on the porch of the Lieutenant Governor's mansion
3 years ago.
3 years ago when we did a press conference.
Yes, sir.
I showed these images that are recommended reading for fifth graders.
Yes.
2 television cameras, and these news agencies blurred the images out for their adult viewers. Now, why aren't they asking Roy Cooper? Why aren't they asking Josh Stein? Why aren't they asking these other leftist politicians? They obviously think there's something wrong with it because they blurted it out.
Exactly.
So why are they not asking those questions? To me, that's the million-dollar question.
So you believe the school system is not too far gone and that there's still hope?
I don't believe it's too far gone for one reason. Here in North Carolina, we're going to allow competition to flourish. And people will scream at me all the time and say, we need to preserve the public schools. No, we need to preserve our children. Systems are secondary. Systems come and go, but children will always be here. If the public school system is going to be stubborn and bullheaded and refuses to change and do the things that it needs to do to help our children be successful, then the public school system will be planted asunder by other systems that are doing what's necessary for our children. And that is the goal. The goal is not to protect any system. The goal is to make sure that teachers can teach, students can learn, and those students can be successful.